Welcome to the tutorial on auditing. This is the fourth tutorial on the topic coordinating the work of others. In this tutorial, we are going to learn about the responsibility of joint auditors. That means if there are auditors more than one for performing auditing service for a large company, in that situation, what would be the responsibilities for the joint auditors? In a audit of large entities or large firm, more than one auditor is appointed, which is known as joint auditors. In the work of joint auditors, there is a necessity to divide the work. That means there is a need for division of work. The joint auditors mutually divide the work among themselves by discussions, and that division may be done by the way of identifying the units, such as division can be done by branch wise or location wise or department wise, or division can be done on the basis of specified areas, or division can be done on the basis of items of assets or items of liabilities or items of income or items of expenditure heads. These are the issues by which the work of joint auditors can be divided. The division agreed among the joint auditors should be documented. After dividing the work among the joint auditors, all the auditors should perform some responsibility. We can see there is a individual responsibility. Individual responsibility is applicable for those work which are allotted to each joint auditor. That means in respect of audit work carried out by each joint auditor, as per the division arrangement, each joint auditor is responsible for the work allotted to him. After performing the individual responsibility for the allotted or distributed work, there are some joint responsibility which should be performed jointly as well as separately, such as the joint work should be performed by all the auditors jointly. That means in respect of audit work which is not divided among themselves and is carried out by all of them, that type of not divided work should be carried out by all the joint auditors. And the joint responsibility for the decision as to appropriateness of nature, timing, and extent of audit procedure. In respect of decisions taken by all the joint auditors concerning the nature, timing, and context of the audit procedures to be performed by any of the joint auditors. That means they can combinedly decide on the nature, timing, and extent of the audit procedures. And the next joint responsibility is matters brought to the common requirement. In respect of matters which have been brought to the notice of joint auditors by any of them and on which there is a agreement among the joint auditors. That means if any auditor brought the attention to the other joint auditors, in that situation all of them should consider that common issue. And the next issue is matters concerning disclosure requirement. In respect of matters concerning examination that the financial statements comply with the disclosure requirement of any statute concerning the entity. Here statute means law or regulations. For ensuring the compliance of the disclosure requirement, all the joint auditors should work jointly to ensure that all the disclosure requirements are fulfilled by their work. And the next issue is matters concerning audit report. In respect of matters relevant for ensuring that the audit report complies with the requirement of relevant enactment. Here, enactments means any contract or agreement. On the basis of contract or agreement, all the issues or all the requirement should be fulfilled by the joint auditors. As well as we can see where in the course of his work, a joint auditor come across matters such as which are relevant to the areas of responsibility of other joint auditors, which deserve their attention, which require disclosure, which require discussion with, or which require application of judgment by other joint auditors. In these situations, if any joint auditor seek the attention of other joint auditors, all of them should have duty to disclose their concern about these issues. That means if any auditor come across any of this matter, he should communicate the same to all the other joint auditors in writing so that all the joint auditors can work jointly for solving the issues. After that, we can see a joint responsibility for obtaining information or explanation. As the joint auditors, there is a necessity to obtain and evaluate the management explanations. And the next issue is entitled to assume professional competence of other joint auditors. That means each joint auditor is entitled to assume that the other joint auditors have carried out their part of audit work in accordance with the generally accepted audit procedures. It is commonly assumed that all the joint auditor will ensure the professional competence for completing the work. And the next issue is entitled to presume the truth and fairness of financial information of divisions audited by a joint auditor. That means it will be assumed that the work done by the joint auditors are true and fair. And the last joint responsibility by the joint auditor is there is no role of majority in reporting. That means the joint auditors are able to come to an agreement generally and hence they issue a common report. However, where they are in disagreement, each will issue a separate report setting out his opinion. The joint auditors are not bound by majority view. That means the joint auditors will work jointly for the not allotting work. Since they are working jointly, there is no role of majority in providing the report because all the joint auditors are a part for the common issue, that means providing the audit report. There is no majority for any specific auditor. All of them are combinedly responsible for performing the audit work as joint auditors. These are the responsibilities which should be performed by the joint auditors. Thank you.